it is an absolute mess out here. We need to talk about it.
Don't play with me, ho. Go play in some traffic. Don't play with me, ho. This shit gon' get graphic. They say that I'm the
So I'm not sure if you saw it, but there was this video of T.I. and Tiny behind somebody's pulpit that were speaking. They were in somebody's church. Now, you already know what I always say. If you see these niggas suddenly talking about Sky Daddy, especially if there's somebody who is not religious in the first place, or they never be talking about Sky Daddy and his many delusions, as soon as they talk about the grace of God and, oh, you know, y'all know our hearts, and anytime I go through something, I come out of it stronger. Anytime they go up there saying that type of shit, you better look at the evidence, because it's probably, like so many people have been saying, it's probably bulletproof. Now we're gonna see what them cases are serving, and that's just gonna be that on that. The pulpit, I feel like, is the easiest place for a lot of the crazies, because a lot of people feel like once you behind that corny block of wood that you know nobody can say shit to or about you. It don't work that way in the court of law, so we're gonna see what happens. Anyway, on to more important matters. Denai is, of course, returning to reprise her role in Black Panther 2, but apparently there is going to be an Okoye spinoff. This was just announced, so there's not a lot of information that I could find out about the show or about, you know, anything else regarding this shit, but when I tell you I'm so excited, I'm excited. She does, first of all, the actress is amazing. Even the little parts in Infinity War that she has, she always like steals the show. So I cannot wait to see her have her own show and the way that we're about to go up for it. Disney really has me by the chokehold. I don't understand why. I guess just like they have every other company on the fucking planet, I'm just excited to see what they're gonna do with this. And speaking of being excited for things, Beyonce has said out of her own mouth that she is working on music. If you are familiar with Miss Giselle, if you are familiar with Beyonce, usually we only really pay attention to things that she actually says. So any rumors, any things coming from other people's mouth, we are like, okay, but when it comes out of her own mouth, just like the voice, you know what I'm talking about? Just like the vocal talent, when it comes out of her own mouth, that's when we pay attention, that's when we listen. Miss Mama says that she is working. She said, she called herself Chef Boyardee or something like that. It was hilarious. Actually, Michelle Williams was the one who posted all of this and posted like their little conversation. She was like, this is the only time I let y'all, like we let y'all in our group chats or something like that. And of course, within that, she's promoting her book, Checking In, and that's talking about her mental health journey. But it was just so cool to see them suddenly pop up on my timeline. And of course, Kelly is right there with her son, Noah. Like, they just look so cute and so nostalgic. It's just so cute to see it. But yeah, I'm really curious, like I've been saying for the past couple of videos, to see what she's gonna be working on. I feel like Beyonce is someone who always strives to outdo herself. So I'm wondering like, okay, what's going on in that brain of yours? Like, what genre are you going into? There's so many, like if you ask people like online or ask people in general, like what direction do you see Beyonce going in, especially if they are like heavy fans like my ass is, they have some really strong opinions. And every time we think we know what she's gonna do, I feel like she always flips it on his head. I remember being like, damn, like self-titled is crazy as hell. Like, how the hell did she do this shit? This shit is wild. Like, it's amazing as hell. Like, how are you going to create another album after that shit? And she did it. She did it with Lemonade. Like, the evolution of her art has been really cool. So I can't wait. Also, Normani said that she is done with her album, okay? I wanna read you some things that she said. She said, honestly, 2020 was a tough year for me because my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So like, while everybody was like, girl, where the music at? Girl, where the music at? Girl, where the music at? You know, including myself sometimes. I'm like, okay, what's going on? I know artists gotta take their time to make something good. So I was just patiently waiting. You see what I'm saying? But you know, her revealing that reminds, it gets me, maybe other people, to just take a step back, because you do not know what people are dealing with in their real life. So she said her mom was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she said, I could not travel home to Houston because of COVID, but then I kind of had to shift my perspective and just know that finishing my album really helped her get through it and helped me get through it. And about the sound of her album, she said, I naturally gravitate towards eerier, darker sounds. Sound selection is my favorite part of the production process, especially when you get in with a producer who is willing to break barriers. we just go in there and play by no rules. Love that. I come from a super pop girl group, but I grew up listening to 90s R&B, which is pretty much what I listen to every single day. There's so much space in between, it gives me the opportunity to really play. But she added this, she said, I'm not always as bubblegum as Motivation was, or as bubble as how people have perceived me to be from looking at that music video. So just imagine the flip side of that. It's still gonna be palatable for a wide audience. Nobody's going to feel left out. I feel like she basically said all that shit to say, hey, guess what? I was going through some shit, bitch. Like, y'all gonna wait on this album, it's coming out, it's done, just relax. The second thing is, like, I know y'all girls saw me twerking and moving and being cute and bubbly with Motivation, and it was sickening, it was fun, but don't expect me to stay in that box. Don't expect the entire album to be that. So I think it's very strategic how she's picking her words. Very smart person, but I cannot wait, especially with all this, you know, with all the music that she has released and with the anticipation for this album, I cannot wait to see what she's gonna be serving. I love watching artists work, it's everything. And now the moment you've been waiting for, Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner has really been pissing me off, and I know I've been speaking about her a lot. Well, maybe I haven't. I just feel like she's been on the channel more often than usual, but she's really been saying some stupid ass shit, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows we really don't need her ass in nobody's office, and I'm just gonna continue to say it, bitch. This is just the beginning, okay? But look at the tweet that she put up. She said, when elected governor of California, I will cancel culture and wake up the woke. I really do try to, when I looked at this tweet, I really did try to think of tweets that were dumber than this bullshit that crossed my fucking screen, but it was very difficult for me to do so. How the fuck are you gonna wake up somebody who already woke? That's the first thing. The second thing, like, use your brain. My God, if you're gonna make these, you know, bullshit ass tweets, like, at least make them somewhat fucking clever. The second thing is, I hate when y'all use the word woke. I don't like that word, period, especially because a lot of times when people, you know, talk about people who are woke, they usually mean, what they mean to say is people who are still gonna be fucked over by people with, you know, extreme amounts of privilege and oppressors. They're still gonna be fucked over, but they choose not to be silent about that shit while it's happening. Like, that's all y'all mean by woke people, you know? And I wish that y'all would just say, hey, guess what? What I want to happen is that, you know, the oppression continues, but y'all just shut the fuck up about it. Just say that. Stop with this, oh, whoa, what the fuck does that mean? What does that mean? Y'all don't even know. Because she trying to wake up the woke, it's just, oh my God, the stupid jumps out so much and you really hate to see it. But she was recently on Fox News, and I feel like that should tell you all you need to know. Like, if she's taking her ass over there to Fox News, she's listened to this bullshit right here. Okay? She said that she wants to put together a state commission to determine on a case-by-case basis if trans girls are truly trans enough to play school sports. That's what she said. She said, what I would do as governor, I will put together a commission, and trans women who are truly trans, who at a very young age, you know, started proper medical treatment, they've grown up as girls, of course, they should be able to compete in girls' sports. And it's just, the insanity does not stop, because Miss Mamas, you yourself did not transition until you were older. So what the hell are you talking about? And it's just, there's so many, when we talk about like coons and shit, like tap dancing coons, like, I feel like you have them in almost every single demographic, because Miss Mamas is literally going to be a danger to her own fucking community if she ever has a chance to put her hands on the office of governor of California. Like, how can you be sitting here spewing out the same talking points as the transphobic motherfuckers that literally want to delete you and the rest of our LGBT off the face of the planet? Like, are you serious right now? And it's so easy to get these kinds of fucked up things, fucked up legislation, transphobic legislation. It's so easy to get them things passed when you have a token, when you have an LGBT token, when you have a trans token, when you have a token there to be the face of these fucked up bills and fucked up legislation. I don't want her ass to step foot in nobody government office. She need to sit her ass And that's why, you know, as much as I joke and as much as we make fun, like, coons are extremely dangerous. And any demographic, anybody that be tap dancing around and shit can literally be the catalyst for the destruction of the fucking community. Violence against the community that they're over there pretending to give a shit about on Fox News. And I'm just like, what demographic is she trying to reach out to? The people who watch Fox News in the first place don't like your ass. It's just, and we don't have to guess why. And the people that you could have possibly, reached out to or persuaded already see how much of a detriment to their community you're going to be, like on the other side of the aisle. So it's just like, who are you actually trying to get to fucking vote for you? It is corny, and I hope that I just, if there ever comes a day where I never have to see her goddamn face again, I'm gonna be so happy about it. And that's just it. That's just it. Now, speaking of somebody's face who I do not like seeing, Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them girls got their ass up there with Gianna Floyd, the daughter of George Floyd, and they are on this, like, the government, they are on this, like, Olivia Pope ass optic, but at least Olivia Pope would have been at least smarter about the shit that they're doing. They're on this, like, I feel like they thinking like, okay, how can we pump this George Floyd thing so that the optics look good on us? And now they've been doing it for a while, but to see Nancy Pelosi like petting Gianna in front of fucking media like she's a fucking dog or some shit, and for them to be talking about, oh yeah, George Floyd's sacrifice is like, oh yeah, George Floyd, he's going to transform the whole entire world, he's going to change the entire universe, blah blah. It's like, it is so disgusting, especially when you consider the fact that there's so many organizers and activists, people who are protesting, people are just speaking out in general, saying that, hey girl, like giving police, we've seen it so many times, giving police money to investigate themselves after these incidents happen just leads to more fucking death because you just giving them more money. Like, bitch, okay, I'm gonna look and see if I did anything wrong. I didn't. I'm just gonna keep like. And people have been saying that, research has been done, but they still do it. And they've been doing it under George Floyd's name. They're giving more money to police under his fucking name while petting his daughter in front of media to try and change the optics on a problem that they don't actually give a shit about. Because every time you turn around, they're strengthening the police. They're protecting the police. A cute photo op here and there, a cute press conference here and there, and it's still dead ass black bodies on the fucking street. So it's like, that shit was really corny to see, and I feel like I shouldn't be singling out Nancy Pelosi, but she was the main one up there. It is the entire government. It's the entire government, but it's just like really ugly for it to be coming from dems, because it's like, do y'all really think that we can't see through this fucking bullshit? Do y'all think that, just because y'all do these cute press conferences that we cannot see what's going on in the real world, in like our actual communities? Are you like, you think we're that fucking stupid? And to act like George Floyd just came up here and volunteered himself to be a fucking martyr is disgusting. It's disgusting. And I hate that people are falling for it. And I hate that even as that is going on, they're still strengthening the fucking cops. Like, what type of dystopian shit is that? America has no business meddling in nobody else's government, talking about nobody else's fucking country until they get their shit together. And last but definitely, at this point it's least, but Obama said recently, he said, guess what? The reason why I didn't talk about all you black bitches dying in the fucking streets by cops is because they were because of institutional constraints. That's what he said. And I said, that was the headline. I said, bitch, let me just read this shit quickly before I go off, because that's just the headline. So let me just see the context of what this motherfucker was talking about. He said, I did not want in any way to endanger their capacity. And by their, he's talking about the Justice Department's capacity while he was in office. I did not in any way want to endanger their capacity, the Justice Department's capacity, to go in, investigate, and potentially charge perpetrators, which meant that I could not come down or appear to come down decisively in terms of guilt or innocence. Obama's annoying as fuck, but he's not a dumbass. You know what I mean? He tries to, use these words that basically at the end of the day mean nothing, because the first thing is we already saw how Trump behaved. He did whatever the fuck he wanted. Secondly, he's acting like if he shut up, that the Justice Department actually would be going out here arresting the cops. Can't we count on our fucking one hand how many cops got arrested, even got indicted? So is he really acting like if he shut the fuck up about what was going on, that these cops actually would face time? Like, does he really think that shit? Does he really think that we're dumb enough to believe that shit? And he's talking about, oh, not coming down decisively or whatever. But during his whole time there, and even afterwards, he was very vocal about the protesters who were protesting the fact that they were experiencing violence and death in their own fucking communities. He focused on some of the violence of specific protesters, you know what I mean? He focused on that violence while not highlighting the fact that they are responding to violence, you know, state fucking sanctioned violence. So you just were president of the entire institution. What institutional constraints when you the institution? And if you feel like you had institutional constraints, you couldn't even talk about that shit, which don't make no fucking sense because you talk about every goddamn thing else. Even when you left office, you was still talking shit about protesters, you know? If you think you can say shit under institutional constraints, what the fuck do you think, you know, people without your level of power felt like living inside those institutional fucking constraints that you were the face of? Shut the fuck up. He's giving me coward puppet tease. That's what he's giving me. Especially when it revolves around like black issues. I mean, it's just clear as fucking day. The Undefeated in 2016 said, just months after taking office in 2009, President Barack Obama did not push to renew a temporary $85 million pot of money earmarked for HBCUs by his Republican predecessor, George W. Bush. The Obama administration was quick to point out that it had opted instead to put a larger sum into general grant programs that put more federal money into the coffers of the nation's institutions of higher education, including HBCUs, but a lot of that money went disproportionately to non-HBCUs by 2013. Even as the overall federal higher education budget grew, the HBCU share was down to 2.8%. That's the type of disingenuous shit that Obama be trying to like maneuver around and do. And he be trying to present something, it's like double speak. It's kind of fucking weird. And it's like, if I would just rather him say, hey girl, I wanted to be a politician. I wanted to make sure that everybody kissed my ass. And if it meant sacrificing you black ass bitches, that's exactly what the fuck I was gonna do. And that's it. Like, just say that. Just say that. Like, I just want him to shut the fuck up. I just want him to shut the fuck up. Like, we already know what you about. Like, all this, you trying to rebrand and shit. It's just really weird. Stay in your fucking lane and leave us the hell alone. If you ain't opening your purse or something, like, just shut the fuck up. That's what I want him to do. On that note, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoy your weekend. Make sure you check me out at patreon.com/AdrianExpression. Make sure that you also have a good goddamn evening.
Don't play with me.